On the Bobcat Sports Network from Learfield, this is Cat Chat with head football coach Brent Vigen. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official home of Cat Chat, every Wednesday night at 6:30. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Bobcats, Keaton Gillogly.
Like winter and summer, I'm sure, from day to day, hour to hour for you.
Yeah, real productive road trip down to Flagstaff, and I thought the guys really performed, up to the standard that we needed to. It didn't mean it happened immediately, but ultimately, all three phases really contributed to that win, and it's great to be back home this week. I know we were home the whole month, but to leave, and then I think a little more appreciation to be back home this week, and yeah, a little bit of everything from a weather perspective, and not sure exactly what Saturday's going to bring, except a great crowd again and an exciting atmosphere and a really explosive, dangerous team coming to town.
Yeah, we will get into this Idaho State team, but they've got a little bit of a Patrick Mahomes-style arm in Jordan Cook, but we will talk about that as we go. I had to scrape a little frost off my car this week. How often have you guys been getting into the indoor facility here throughout this week and the last couple of days?
Well, we've shifted gears now on Tuesdays. We start at 6:50, so we're starting indoors regardless. We started indoors and then ultimately went out. It's dark enough at that time, too. Not that we have lights and all that, but we do our walk-through stretch and all our individual inside. And then we've also started now on Thursdays where we'll start in one of the sides of the ball. We'll stay inside, and what that allows us is to have a full field for both offense and defense. So, weather hasn't necessarily forced us in there, but just from a routine perspective and how early we go, 6:50 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's a good place to start when it's still dark out.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, cool to hear that's starting to get involved and getting a part of this thing, because I know that's going to help and really help the wear and tear for these guys as we keep going. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive right into this game on Saturday, the win at Northern Arizona. This was a game I think a lot of fans had circled on their calendar from very early on in the season. Certainly, as you've mentioned, a program on the rise, but it was not all roses and sunshine at the start of this game. Tell me a little bit about that the slow start we saw this week.
Yeah, I think defensively we came out. We got 2 stops immediately. Offensively, it was just a collection of penalties more than anything that just got us in some long yardage situations. I know ultimately we had a 3rd down where we snapped it thinking they were jumping off sides and they didn't, and that resulted in an incomplete pass. Traded some punts early on. Ultimately, we had a shorter punt that gave them a short field that then allowed them that first score. But there wasn't a sense of panic through that stretch, and then ultimately, Taco gets that 90-yard punt return, and I don't know if it was a sense of relief, but it certainly got us going in the right direction, and then we continued to answer that on the offensive side with scores, but. Against good teams, that can happen. Good teams might stop you. Good teams might score, and if that happens, that's okay. I mean, it's just part of the competition, and ultimately, can we take hold? Can we have some things start going our way? And I think that's what we saw, and I think for a younger team to show a little bit of maturity and just be able to hang in there, I thought that was real impressive.
Yeah, the hanging in there and still just playing ball during a slow start, or maybe when you do kind of get punched or take a body shot like that. How do you as a coach kind of cultivate that in your team to have that kind of resiliency? Because you're going to need it as the season goes.
Yeah, you need the guys to come off and get coached up. I think that's the first thing. It just can't be a yelling match or anything like that. I mean, our guys have to come off and allow our coaches to coach them. I know with the sideline technology, iPads, I think being able to be coached and see what's going on, I think is a little bit easier than it was a few years back. And just seeing that, hey, we're not that far off. If we can limit the penalties, for instance, on offense, hey, we're gonna, we just got to stay ahead of the chains and we'll have a good shot. Defensively, again, I thought we did a pretty good job. I mean, that team was averaging quite a few points and had been pretty explosive at times. So to keep them to that 7-point margin for most of the game, that's a pretty good performance, I think. And then, special teams, I think we did some things certainly, and then there was a few plays we didn't make at the same time. So I think it's all about what can we do to continue to, improve within a game, to be coached within a game, to take a bad play and make the next time that same play happens a positive play.
Yeah, you mentioned the coaching on the sideline. I feel like one of the things that stood out in this game a little bit was some of that sideline energy. Now, it seemed like part of it was the student section was right over your guys' shoulders, and we saw a lot of back and forth there. Saw Justin Lamson coming off the field pretty hot and fired up multiple times. I mean, it did seem like there was a lot of competitive energy and a competitive fire on that sideline. Is that what you were feeling in this game?
Yeah, way more on our sideline than theirs. I mean, just the nature of how that place filled up. I mean, there was way more fans on the student side with the band and everything, and our fans were all on our home side. And yeah, I'm sure that fed our guys a little bit. I know their students had a few things to say here and there, and that's part of the college atmosphere, I guess. And they just made that move. That's the first time that the opponents were on that side. So I know, again, I think it did fed our guys, and I think our guys still stayed in the competition too. I don't think they let it, consume them by any means. So if you let some hostility fuel you, that's great. If you let the hostility kind of take you out of your game, that's what we want to avoid, and I think we did for the most part.
Yeah, not going to lie, the student section was even chirping me when I walked down there, and Grace, Grace Lawrence, our sideline analyst. They were chirping both of us the whole time when we were walking around a little bit before the game. But I think it's interesting, like a guy like Julius Davis. It looked like you went right up and talked to him a couple different times, especially after that late hit on Taco Dollar, and then he scores the touchdown. I mean, he already plays an 11 out of 10. What are some of your conversations with Julius Davis like when you do see him running red like that?
Just harness it for good.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
I don't know. What I say exactly. I trust that he knows what's going on. It's not like he's out of his mind or anything. He's just.
It looks like he is sometimes.
No, he's just an intense competitor, and he's going to maybe try to get the last word in a few times here and there. But no, I trust that he's just getting, I guess, he's getting fueled by it. And he's probably the last guy on our team that you want to fuel. So, he played really hard with a lot of passion. And, I think his leadership is to be that really positive force as far as energy goes. If it's, less words than just pure how he's playing the game, and he certainly did that for us on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting as well. Titan Fleischman was our guest on the Bobcat Insider television show this week, Pocatello native, so go check that out. That's out now, but I did think it was interesting on the show. He was telling us a little bit how, after that play when Taco took the late hit, which was flagged, these things happen, he wanted to kind of mix it up initially, and then he saw everybody else in there, and he really did try to kind of tamp things down. I thought it was interesting just to hear that perspective from a captain where, you want to protect your guy, but then all of a sudden you see everybody else protecting your guy, and you want to make sure. He was talking about not wanting to pick up a silly penalty there.
Yeah, I mean, all the physical nature of football ideally can live between the whistles, and anything outside of that is mindless. It's mindless BS, honestly. It really is, and we talk about that all the time. I mean, being a tough guy outside of the whistles doesn't do us any good. So if other teams do something, it's hard to restrain yourself, but that's what we got to be able to do. We had a couple unsportsmanlikes in that game, and that's something that we are not about. And whether it's words, I know they really, taunting has become a bigger deal for good reason. I know one was a late hit, maybe even a flop, that type of deal. But there's no room for that as far as a team wanting to do the things we're trying to do. And I think our guys generally understand that. I mean, the way we practice gets very competitive in the spring and the fall. And at the same time, you don't see a lot of fights that occur. I think fights occur a lot of places where they are undisciplined. So I think our guys learn that over time that, hey, fight between the whistles, and fight for your teammates, certainly, but if someone else that makes a mistake on the other side, we don't need to compound that.
Yeah. Do you get any communication specifically from the officials about kind of where the line is? Because it does feel a little bit like this year, I've seen maybe everywhere, guys kind of look and bark at each other, then kind of turn around. The officials are getting in between, but not maybe flagging it. Have they talked to you about what the line is for them?
Well, I think each crew is maybe a little bit different. I know they don't want to let a game get taken away by all that stuff. I know, generally speaking, they'll come up and maybe give a fair warning here and there if someone's, in particular, maybe talking too much.
Yeah.
I think the stuff that happens after whistles that is physical in nature, they're going to call what they see, and sometimes that's even hard. So if you could be the retaliator, and you might be the one that gets caught. So, you just have to be smart in that regard. The whole taunting thing, I think it has been kind of laid out in college football, but at the same time, I do think it's pretty inconsistent. So I think if it's obvious in our league, they're going to call it, and I think obvious enough that everybody in the building thinks it should get called. I hope that's the way they look at it. If it's some bang thing, and when the emotions are coming out, I hope they let it go. But again, they don't want to make that a big deal, but they're protecting the game and the integrity of the game and the way it looks all at the same time.
Yeah, well, didn't mean to totally dive into just straight intensity for 10 minutes, but here we are because it was something that stood out, and we know the Bobcats, being the reigning champs of the Big Sky, are going to take everybody's best shot. They're going to try to intimidate this team, and this is just what you see on a weekly basis. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, though, we will dive into some of the actual stuff that happened between the whistles, because there were some pretty fun plays in the win at Northern Arizona. But for now, we're taking a break live for Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Debilitating joint pain can keep you from doing the things you love most. At Bozeman Health Spine and Joint Institute, we take a holistic approach to your orthopedic surgery, combining state-of-the-art orthopedic capabilities with whole health optimization. We'll work with you to identify and address any medical issues prior to your surgery. Our optimized health approach ensures your surgery is just the beginning of a new, pain-free life. Explore more at bozemanhealth.org/SJI.
Hey, Bobcat fans. Want to make a real difference in the lives of Montana State student-athletes? The Bobcat Collective is your chance to do just that. By joining as a member or becoming a business partner, you're directly supporting our athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them succeed both on and off the field. Whether you're an individual looking to become a member or a business ready to partner with us, every contribution empowers our Bobcats to reach their full potential. Visit BobcatCollective.com to learn more and sign up today. Together, we can elevate our athletes and the entire Bobcat community. Go Cats, go!
Montana holds some of the greatest hunting in the country, and much of that occurs on private land. Access to private land is a key part of hunting and wildlife management, but that access is at risk with every gate left open, piece of litter left behind, or torn up ag field from someone driving where they weren't allowed. As hunters and guests in Montana, we must do better. Get familiar with Montana's block management program and follow the rules for every block management area you hunt, because we either do better or we'll lose access. It's that simple. It's up to us. Respect access, protect the hunt.
At Manhattan Plumbing and Heating, we are committed to being your trusted source for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs in Gallatin County. Proudly locally owned and operated, our skilled team has been providing exceptional service and expertise for over 2 decades. Whether service or new construction, we provide quality solutions for your home or business. If you need urgent plumbing repairs, efficient heating or cooling solutions, Manhattan Plumbing and Heating is here to help. Call us today at 406-284-4133 to learn why we are the area's most trusted and reliable choice. And go Cats!
With friendly customer service and an outstanding location near Montana State University and the base of the Bridger Mountain Range, Country Inn & Suites by Radisson is the perfect place to begin your Bozeman adventure. Country Inn & Suites offers a hot and delicious Be Our Guest breakfast buffet each morning. Free Wi-Fi is available throughout the property, and we have a business center and meeting rooms. Our indoor pool and hot tub is a great way to relax after a day of fun, and the on-site fitness center will keep your workout goals on track. We have spacious king and double queen suites with a full-size sleeper sofa available, and every room in Country Inn & Suites is smoke-free. Reserve your room today.
The air was thick with desire as he said those 23 magic words every woman longs to hear. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give you 10 free boneless wings when you spend $15 or more and use promo code GOBONELESS. Say it again, she begged. He indulged. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give... Okay, I need a break. This novel's got me sweating and hungry. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations for a limited time only when you order in the BWW web or app.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. It's a beautiful day here in Bozeman as we get ready for our lone home game in the month of October. A 1 p.m. kickoff will be on the air at noon this week for the matchup against Idaho State. No show next week with the bye week. Coach, what do you do during the bye week? What do you got coming up?
Well, bye week's not an off week necessarily, but I do know for our team, sitting here after 7 games will be a good spot. I know for the most part we're pretty healthy right now, but I know there's a lot of guys that you start accumulating these, all the contact over a bunch of games. It adds up. So, we won't practice as much. We get a chance to look forward to Cal Poly. We'll get a chance to scrimmage the young guys a little bit. Get a chance to do some recruiting. But then also just give some time off too. I know, for our players that's important here in the middle of the year, and as it is for our coaches. Haven't had a day off since July, so they'll get a little bit of that on Sunday.
Yeah, amazing how in this point in the season, even an hour or two off can really fill up the cup, even though we're all doing something we love on a weekly basis. All right, let's dive into some of the great moments of this win against Northern Arizona. Obviously, the Taco Dollar punt return was the big one, but, we had him on the show last week, and what was the first thing he said when he talked about punt returning? It's 10 other guys doing their job that makes me look good. And we saw Mason Detman, among others, 50, 60 yards downfield setting that last block. I thought it was really cool and a nice glimpse into the future of this program for who stepped up in that moment.
Yeah, it is a lot of second-year redshirt freshmen. Corey Boyd, he's the one of those corners that's not playing on defense.
Number 3.
Corey's continued to find his way on special teams. And Corey was, he's got the task of holding their gunner down, and he did a really good job to get that thing going. And we were schemed up pretty well that, the way the kid punted, it was inside the hash, but so were the rest of their players, and we had that whole rest of the field. And, yeah, it was, Mason really showed up because Mason came from the clear across the other side of the field, and he kind of sprung it at the end. But, a lot of guys just doing their job, and I think we've continued to get better and better of understanding what that means on special teams. And, the return game is about opportunities, and whether it's on the kickoff, you need a ball that's returnable. On the punt, you kind of need the same thing sometimes, and I think that guy, almost outkicked the coverage there, and we'll take that opportunity. And anytime Taco gets it in his hands, he could go to distance.
Yeah, it was fun to see his first of the year, the 4th of his career, and the 90-yard return was the longest in program history. I also want to talk a little bit Rocky Lencioni's first career touchdown and that little pop pass, and Lou Vince Valson also had a big block on that play. Julius Davis blocking on that play. It was fun to see those guys get in there, and for Rocky, a Bozeman High alum, getting into the end zone for the first time.
Yeah, another redshirt freshman, second-year guy that's I think mature beyond those. That's his short time with us. He had a really good offseason, and I think we knew in the spring that there'd be a contribution that Rocky could make. And, now that you sit here 6 games in, he's a regular guy out there playing. It's not like he's this new guy, and he's doing a lot of good things and getting a chance to get in the end zone. That's a play that we've kind of had in the arsenal, I guess, for weeks on end, and, those goal line situations. So, schemed up well, and Rocky certainly, he needed to work hard to get those yards, as did the guys, blocking in front of him. So, been really pleased with, how quickly it's happened for him, and, he's got a bright career ahead of him.
Yeah, and for Valson, too. I mean, we talked about him last week, but got his first career catch this week as well, which is always nice to see. So kudos to him, and we'll see how much they're needed this week with Hunter Province and Ryland Schlepp. So we'll get updates on that for Saturday when we get a little bit closer. The other guy I want to talk about again here is Adam Jones. Overall, this ground game right now hasn't had a 100-yard rusher at this point. What are you seeing from Adam Jones right now? And do you have any concerns about the run game or any of his production at the moment?
Well, I'd say, teams are trying to do everything they can to take their run game away from us. We're maybe not as versatile in the run game. Not that Justin can't run, but he certainly isn't Tommy in the run game. So, that's been a little bit more of a grind each and every week. And we've been able to split carries, between Adam and Julius. So, either one of those guys really getting going hasn't been the case. But I think ultimately we've been able to get the run game going, and that's really the bottom line. And I think Adam's certainly done a great job catching the ball in the backfield too. I mean, some of his more impressive plays to this point have maybe been some of those short catches that he turns into 10+ yards. I know the run that he had in that second half that led to our what would that have been, her 4th touchdown. It was awful. No, I'm just saying last week was awfully impressive. I mean, that's as good a run as he's had.
Yeah.
So, I think what we got to do for both those guys is they can't press. They got to let the run game come to them. I think it does start with the guys up front, but their patience and their willingness to take 2, 3, and 4 and hit the right spot, and then ultimately be able to get a 20-yarder, I know is out there. So, pleased with how both those guys have played and taken on kind of this dual role. It's we're 6 games in, and we've been able to maintain that, which is a real positive thing. So, they'll both get their opportunities, and I'm certain they'll make the most of them.
Yeah, I asked that question, but at the end of the day, this was still a game where you guys averaged 6 yards per carry and rushed for about 200 yards in a victory. So it can't be that bad if you're rushing for 6 yards per carry. One of the other things I did want to ask about was one of the pieces of news that kind of just came out here the last 24 hours was about the new transfer portal window. So they're going to try to make this just one transfer portal window from January 2nd to January 16th. So try to eliminate that spring one. Now, you should still be able to transfer after a head coaching change, so that should be one of the other parts of it. But do you have any initial thoughts on this? I know it's still kind of new, although they've been talking about it, so I don't know if you have any perspective on this.
Well, I appreciate us going to one window for sure. I know the beginning of January is not, or in between semesters, this period isn't without a lot of complications. But I know this is meant to protect the integrity of just December. Which I think the way it was set up before, the integrity of December, whether it's FCS playoffs, whether it's the playoff now at the highest level, whether it's bowl games, was really lost. And it doesn't mean that, out of a regular season, a young man hasn't determined he's going to transfer. But now, outside of a coaching change, that young man isn't going to the transfer portal until January 2nd, which means mostly he can't visit anywhere until that point in time, and technically you're not supposed to be in contact either. So, I say good luck with that, I suppose. But, I don't know what it's going to ultimately do as far as the volume of mid-year transfers, but it does eliminate the thought of the end-of-the-year transfer. So once you essentially hit February, you should have your team. And I think that's really what coaches at the mid-level, whether that's Group of 6, FCS, I think we're probably after the most. Now, again, January is complicated. All these universities start school in the middle of January, and there's a lot of recruiting that has to happen there. So, we'll have to navigate the best we can and not worry about anybody else's issues.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you could speak to that, since that was some news that really just came out within the last 24 hours or so. And I imagine, last year was something where you're going through it too in December, and we're going through this whole thing, and some guys did end up transferring, but I do imagine it played a bit of a role down the stretch last year for you guys.
Yeah, and again, not that it's not going to happen, but, we want as much openness and transparency as possible, and I think we had some really good back and forth and some good, situations where we knew and they knew, and it worked out, and then we had some situations where we were caught off guard, and that's really what I want to be able to eliminate for our football program. And honestly for the young men too, having education and having all the information. That mid-year transfer it's a tight window, and getting the opportunity to know all the facts that are out there is next to impossible. So we want to be able to help them navigate, the thoughts of looking elsewhere as much as we can, so we can protect our program, but so we can protect them too. I think that's my stance on it, or our stance on it, and it's certainly going to be on the horizon before we know it, and it's. Does this give the whole situation a little bit more the guardrails that we're all looking for, I suppose? Is there still going to be some flaws? Absolutely. So we'll deal with it, sooner than later, honestly.
Yeah, well, I know the sands are continuing to shift, but I promise one day we're going to wake up and the rules will have been the same for a year or two, and we'll all settle in. And I certainly appreciate your nuanced take on this, because it is something that we all think about if we do care about this sport. All right, up next, we're going to talk to a couple of our player guests. One of the guys who's been here for 5 years is Zack Black. We're talking to him next. And then Jabez Woods joins the show. But first, a timeout. We're live for Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
The Bobcats are proud to present these preferred local partners as members of Bobcat Built, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems, Bryant, whatever it takes, Carrier Heating and Air Conditioning, Carrier, turn to the experts, Ace Roofing, building Montana strong, one roof at a time, Rivers Landscaping, crafting superior outdoor spaces, and NW Construction, proud to call Bozeman home. Montana State Athletics encourages our fans to choose these local businesses. They are proud local sponsors and demonstrate what it means to be a Bobcat. We are Bobcat Built.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
Quitting smoking, vaping, or chew isn't easy because nicotine is extremely addictive. Plus, everyone's different. What worked for me may not work for you. That's where Quit Now Montana comes in. And it's free. You get a quit coach and a custom quit plan tailored to you, including free nicotine replacement therapy, patches, gum, or lozenges. Bottom line, Quit Now Montana works. Time to make it work for you. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or go to quitnowmontana.com to get started today. Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
At Montana State University, students shape signature experiences that take them across the state and into local communities. MSU is dedicated to its land-grant mission, integrating transformational learning, discovery, and service that improves lives. You'll find our students teaching across Montana, conducting research in the heart of Yellowstone National Park, or even creating small shelter prototypes to address homelessness. Montana State University. Think outside.
At Jersey Mike's, watching them freshly slice the meat and cheese for my sub is a sight to behold. The layers of ham, salami, and pepperoni are even more glorious than the pink and orange layers of a sunrise. Yeah, the sun's pretty and all that, but in about 7 billion years it's going to explode, obliterating the earth and every living thing on it. And if there's no sun, there's no subs. Meanwhile, the only thing a sub ever obliterated was my hunger. Freshly sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee owned and serves southwest Montana with 9 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
We're back live at Buffalo Wild Wings. Before we talk with Zack Black, we want to remind you that Cat Chat is brought to you in part by the Bobcat Collective. Also, if you want to do more this game day than cheering for the best team in the Big Sky, your game day and everyday purchase from MSU Bookstore goes directly to lowering the cost of course materials for all Montana State students. Support students on and off the field by shopping at the MSU Bookstore on campus, in the sub, at Bobcat Stadium on game days, and 24/7 online at msubookstore.org. All right, before we talk with Zack, let's pause 10 seconds for our network station identification. This is Cat Chat. All right, we are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. My name is Keaton Gillogly, sitting to my left, and Idahoan Zack Black. Zack, how we doing? How we feeling, brother?
Great. Happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to have you up here. Happy to see you get out on the field. I know it's been a long journey for you, but just overall, man, here you are in your 5th year. How you feeling physically and just a part of this defense, which is the #1 rated defense of the Big Sky right now by points and yards?
Absolutely. Feeling great, man. Body's feeling great. Mental's feeling great. Happy to be out there contributing in the way, I would have imagined doing time in the past, but getting ready, getting back from injuries and, doing my thing now.
Yeah, contributed in a big way with that 4th down stop in this game as well. You weren't the only one on the scene, but you were certainly the first one on the scene. Talk to me about some of the just the emotions when you do make a big play like that, especially considering everything you've been through.
I mean, it's just super cool. I try to take those moments super personally and really live in that moment, but especially when you're in a hostile place like that, getting to silence that crowd even a little bit more it's a really good feeling.
It was as chippy as it seemed down there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was interesting watching the way you guys handled that, because one of the things I had asked Coach Vigen on the pregame show this week was, going into that game was, how much confidence did he have in you guys as a team to stand up when your back was against the wall? And the back was against the wall early in this game. How did you feel like this team manifested that urgency rather than panic and just kind of keep balling even when things weren't necessarily going your way early?
I mean, it's just something that I think we emphasize a lot and put a good amount of detail into. You're going to get put in some situations sometimes that aren't ideal. You're going to start in minus territory with your back against the wall, and then it's about taking over. It's about being the Bobcat defense that we intend to be and shutting down situations when we get put into them.
Yeah, being that Bobcat defense. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, like you said, number one defense in the country right now, right? So I talked about it a little bit in the interview on Monday, but just we have this standard. We call it the standard. Everybody lives up to it. So, like, the lowest version of yourself that you're willing to accept, what the effort is, what the time that you put into it is, that's the standard. So we all live up to that, week in and week out, and that comes down to like things like preparation, taking care of your body, watching film, diagnosing what that offense is going to do before they even do it.
Yeah, help me understand how you guys keep that type of culture, that standard, year over year, and even for you, coach over coach, because you committed under Coach Choate. So how does that standard kind of live through in time from year to year?
I think that standard was built long before I was even here with dudes like Troy, Lewis Kidd, some of those guys that I got to spend a little bit of time with when I first came in, and even well before them. I think we've been building something super special with this team in this community for a really long time. And I think once I came in under this new staff with Coach Vigen and stuff, it really just took over even more, starting from the top down.
Yeah, that's cool to hear, because it does. You can see it. I mean, you can feel it when it starts to grow like that. And then you also see it in some of the facilities and the way this place has been growing. How nice is it to get into an indoor facility when you had to scrape off frost off your car in the morning?
It's pretty sweet. It's a blessing to have for sure. And, it's been a long time coming for this team. And like I said, the dudes before me are the ones who built that. I'm just the one who gets to experience it and use it.
Yeah. Does it make a difference in just kind of the wear and tear in your body when you're warming up inside versus outside?
Yeah, I'd say so. We're obviously not really into the super cold months yet, so We'll probably get a good taste of that here coming up into these late October, November games. But right now, it's making a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good to hear and interesting to hear as well. For you, so you're from Meridian, Idaho, correct?
Yes, sir.
So kind of Boise area.
Boise area. Yep.
Great. What was the high school you went to?
I went to Rocky Mountain High School.
All right. What's their mascot?
They're the Grizzlies.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. That was R.J. Fitzgerald that asked me to ask you that. Any chance we get a chance to get our players booed up here is a good one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, yeah.
But that's okay. You know what he did, everybody? He traded in that Grizzly for a Bobcat, which deserves a round of applause. There it is. No, but for you, going through that recruiting process at the time you did, I know it was very affected by COVID, but just how did you kind of manage that, and what were you really looking for to try to find a home? Because it is cool to see a guy like you here for 5 years now with an opportunity for a sixth as well.
Really what I was looking for is like a comfortable place to grow and develop, not only as like as an athlete, but as a person. And that old staff that recruited me did a really good job of selling that to me as well. And then with the transition in the spring, Coach Vigen just progressed that even further. It's like, hey, we're going to grow you into a man, and the emphasis is on getting a degree at the same time as becoming, a better football player and better individual.
Yeah. How have you grown into a better man over these last 5 years?
I don't know, just maturity, I'd say probably. Just growing up from being freshman year me to, the guy I am now. It's just maturity and growth every year.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk to a redshirt freshman in Jabez Woods here in just a bit, who's showing a lot of maturity. But, it is interesting that class you came in with among a bunch of guys. But, I think about Paul Broad and Kenny Iden and Titan Fleischman. Just what did some of those guys mean to you coming up together? And now for multiple of those guys to be captains, Paul to be number 41, Kenny, Defensive Player of the Week in the Big Sky this week as well. Yes, always fun to see that. But just tell me about the growth of that core that we just mentioned.
That core group of guys like you're talking about, we were came up in a weird time getting recruited, and we all talked a lot in this big group chat that we had, and that just helped us get close. And then me and Paul specifically, we were playing video games every weekend together, getting to know each other that much more, and so we got here and we were super close. But to see what these dudes have turned into compared to like the kids that we were 5 years ago, it's crazy. Paul brought 5 years ago is a completely different person than it is now. But same with Titan, same with Kenny, all those dudes. It's just, like I've been talking about, just growth, constant growth year by year.
Yeah, what is it like watching Paul on the interior of that defense right now and just everything he's doing?
He's a killer, man. It's awesome to watch. It's awesome to, take little pieces and learn from him, even though that we did come in this same class and stuff. It's awesome to take little tidbits of his game and try to add them into mine and just bounce knowledge off each other and stuff.
Yeah, I do feel like Kenneth Eiden's been slightly kind of overshadowed a little bit. Didn't necessarily get picked for the number 41. Not that, Paul Brott was very, very deserving, but it did feel like maybe for some people, maybe a little further outside the program, they weren't talking about Eiden, a ton. But we know how good he is. He's sitting right now at 19 and a half career sacks after that half sack he had this last week. But what makes that Bozeman Hawk, Kenny Eiden, just such a high motor on the edge of that defensive line?
Well, geez, it's his motor. It starts with his motor. He's just relentless, man. He never quits. He's like a little pit bull, just pulling at the chain, trying to go get that quarterback. But no, same thing with Kenny. It's just been growth, understanding the defense, and he was able to learn under Hardy when we first came in, and then spent the next 3-4 years with Brody and some of that time with Ben Seymour as well. Two very smart guys, two very well-developed football players that we had in this program, and then he was constantly around those guys, just being a sponge, soaking up knowledge, getting better at football, that whole thing.
Right now, guys like Daniel Hardy are doing backflips in the end zone for the Chicago Bears, which is always fun to see. How cool is it? Ty Okada has been putting up some big numbers lately for the Seahawks. Just in general, watching the guys who are now playing on Sunday. How much fun, how much joy do you guys get from watching your brothers out there on Sundays?
Well, it's awesome because, there's a view on the FCS that it's like small schools and not NFL guys and stuff like that, and then we have all these dudes that we're producing who go out and put numbers up. It's like, hey, you can do it anywhere. If you're good, they'll come find you, and we have plenty of examples of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I have no question that there will be some guys off this team that will be playing on Sundays in the future. But for now, big game on Saturday coming up against Idaho State. It's going to be a fun one. This is an extremely talented offense that was in a shootout in a tight loss at home last week against the University of Montana. But in general, what are we looking for in this matchup? How do you make things uncomfortable for Jordan Cook and go out and get a win on Saturday?
Well, we got to go affect the quarterback. Whether that's putting hits on him, getting pressure on him, getting sacks. But we got to be in that dude's face every play. Slow that offense down a little bit. And they want to throw the rock, man. And as D lineman, that's what you want to hear. You get to go get after a quarterback for most of the game. And obviously it all starts with stopping the run, though. They've got pretty talented running backs, a good offensive line. So we got to handle that first and earn the right to rush.
Yeah, so it's more fun as a defensive lineman for pass rush than rush defense?
I'd say.
Yeah, why? What makes it so much more fun?
Because, man, you get to go hit that pretty boy standing back there throwing the ball.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for you guys to be hitting the pretty boy back there throwing the ball both this week and the rest of the season. Zach Black, appreciate the time and the insight today, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Zach Black, we'll take a break. Jabez Woods joining us after this timeout. This is Cat Chat presented by Learfield.
The air was thick with desire as he said those 23 magic words every woman longs to hear. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give you 10 free boneless wings when you spend $15 or more and use promo code GOBONELESS. Say it again, she begged. He indulged. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give... Okay, I need a break. This novel's got me sweating and hungry. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations for a limited time only when you order in the BWW web or app.
Hey, Bobcat fans. Want to make a real difference in the lives of Montana State student athletes? The Bobcat Collective is your chance to do just that. By joining as a member or becoming a business partner, you're directly supporting our athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them succeed both on and off the field. Whether you're an individual looking to become a member or a business ready to partner with us, every contribution empowers our Bobcats to reach their full potential. Visit BobcatCollective.com to learn more and sign up today. Together, we can elevate our athletes and the entire Bobcat community. Go Cats, go!
Debilitating joint pain can keep you from doing the things you love most. At Bozeman Health Spine and Joint Institute, we take a holistic approach to your orthopedic surgery, combining state-of-the-art orthopedic capabilities with whole health optimization. We'll work with you to identify and address any medical issues prior to your surgery. Our optimized health approach ensures your surgery is just the beginning of a new, pain-free life. Explore more at bozemanhealth.org/SJI.
We focus on youth sports because we truly believe that youth are the foundation of Montana's future. I think nothing improves your mental health and well-being and your physical health and well-being than being outside, active, talking to other people, and socializing in an environment like that. Learning teamwork, learning leadership skills, resiliency, As a company, we're deeply invested in our communities, not just our members.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Bobcats on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Bobcat Pride, powered locally.
No matter how far you may go, there's always one just down the road. Town Pump, ooh, pump it up, pump it up.
Town of Pump is excited to once again sponsor the Brawl of the Wild Rivalry Series between Montana State and the University of Montana. Look for special Brawl of the Wild promotions throughout the year at your local Town Pump.
Town Pump, right down the road, pump it up, oh yeah.
Montana holds some of the greatest hunting in the country, and much of that occurs on private land. Access to private land is a key part of hunting and wildlife management, but that access is at risk with every gate left open, piece of litter left behind, or torn up ag field from someone driving where they weren't allowed. As hunters and guests in Montana, we must do better. Get familiar with Montana's block management program and follow the rules for every block management area you hunt, because we either do better or we'll lose access. It's that simple. It's up to us. Respect access, protect the hunt.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. We're getting ready to go for a matchup against Idaho State on Saturday, a 1 o'clock kickoff. We're on the air at noon for that if you can't get there, or if you're listening before you head in. And then it's the bye week after that, and then a couple of tough road matchups following that. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because a lot of fun stuff has been going on, particularly for redshirt freshman wide receiver Jabez Woods. Jabez, how we doing? How we feeling, man?
Doing good, man. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we're happy and grateful to have you here. I mean, we were just kind of chatting a little bit off the air, but just kind of taking in the ambiance of Buffalo Wild Wings like this with everybody here, all the big crowds. How much fun is it to be a part of a program that's got this kind of support?
No, it's super fun. It's honestly, it feels like a blessed feeling, really, just to have the whole town behind your back and supporting you no matter what, win, lose, or draw. So, yeah.
Yeah. Was that one of the things you really kind of prioritized in your recruiting process?
Oh, for sure. Like the culture and, what surrounded the place. Like, I mean, obviously it's nice scenery, but, just having a nice fan base and people who really do, love the team, it feels good.
Yeah. Did you have that in high school, too? I mean, you went to a little bit of a bigger high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was a football town, and over the years we've progressed and gotten a lot bigger, but, this place, yeah, it kind of feels like this, but times 10.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Good. That's the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
When did you come up for any of the recruiting stuff? Like, did you see some of the crowds? Were you a Gold Rush guy? When did you come up on some visits maybe and see any of the environment here?
I came up for the Cal Poly game,
2 years ago?
Yep,
Yeah.
The Cal Poly game, and honestly, when I seen that the run out that we did, I was hooked from there. Seeing just everybody just in the stands, just cheering and stuff, and having the rodeo team run out, it was crazy.
Yeah, so you saw that, you were like, I want to be a part of that, and now you are, and you've had multiple runouts with that, including Gold Rush. How did the expectations live up to the reality coming out like that?
Nah, the reality exceeded expectations, really. I mean, even before the runout, Taco was telling me, he was like, bro, just take it all in, bro, because this is going to be a one to remember. And right when we ran out, I was just looking around, seeing all the gold, and just seeing everybody there. It was amazing.
Right. Did you recognize any classmates in the Sunny Hollow end zone or anything?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I seen a bunch of my friends that I've had classes with and stuff like that. It was cool. It was super cool.
Yeah, it's fun to have the community. Also fun, I'm sure, to have your classmates over there hyping people up and getting them going. And now they get a chance to watch you get out there and make some big plays. But, it takes a little bit of time to kind of get going. I mean, Zack Black's waited a long time to kind of get into those moments. You had to go through your freshman year last year, now redshirt freshman. You kind of alluded to it on Monday, but just tell us a little bit about that process when you did get here and just trying to get your feet underneath you at the college level.
I mean, coming in here, I kind of just I had high expectations for myself. I was had a big head. I was thinking I was going to play and stuff like that, but the reality hit. I just had to basically restart from the ground up, but I kind of just had to understand quick that, I got to be patient. My time is going to come soon. So really just working hard and staying down. And truthfully, Zack was one of the first people to really tell me, like, dude, like, just stay to yourself. You know, make sure you just work hard. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Just make sure, you know, you're doing what you need to do to get better. So kind of just focus on that for the first year. And then when we had the coaching switch, Coach Mix came in the room, and he was the one who recruited me. And he kind of just told me, he was like, hey, like, you know, you're still young, but, you know, you're going to have that time. So it's like, you know, just be ready for it. So try my best over winter condo and spring ball to really just prepare for my moment, and that's what I've been trying to do ever since.
Yeah, no, that's cool, and I think it's great advice for a lot of people, not only football players, young football players, but just people out in the world. You know, it can be really easy to want to speed up, but to have that patience. You mentioned Zack a little bit, but is there anything else you kind of dip into to really bring up that patience and make sure you're holding on to it when you are trying to work through those hard moments?
Oh, yeah, it's really just remembering my why. Like, I grew up with 5 brothers.
Okay, and which one were you?
I'm the middle child.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
So I know for a fact that if my brothers were going to be in my position, that they'd work twice as hard. So just kind of, you know, remembering why I really wanted to be here and, you know, why it's been a dream to play D1 football, you know, that kind of kept me going. So
yeah. What are some of your brothers doing these days? Are any of them playing sports too? They as athletic? Did you happen to be the middle guy with the most athleticism in the group?
Nah, I'm going to be honest. My oldest brother, really, he's probably the best athlete in my family. But really, all my older brothers are really good at sports and stuff. But they kind of just didn't get the opportunity to really do that stuff. It was just, I grew up in a military family, so we bounced around states and stuff like that. So we never really stayed in one spot, you know, for a while. So when we got to Washington, I was like 8 years old. So that's when I started playing football, and then we just never moved from there, but it just never really got the opportunity.
Yeah. So are they enjoying watching you out there now?
Oh, for sure. But I got 2 little brothers. I'm trying to inspire, you know, keep them going, make sure they follow in the right footsteps and, you know, surpass me.
Yeah. How old are they now?
I have a brother who's 14. He's in his freshman year right now, and then I have a little brother who's 8.
Oh, okay. So they got some time here. You really can help mold them.
Yeah.
What positions are they starting to gravitate to?
My brother's playing. My brother's 14.
Yeah.
He's playing safety, so he's going to be a DB.
Okay.
He's really good. And then my little brother Enoch, 8 years old. He just started playing football this year, so he's playing a little bit of linebacker, a little bit of, you know, running back, wide receiver. He's kind of doing it all out there. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear that, and cool to hear you as such an example like that. And they'll have that patience when they walk into their D1 locker room someday,
for sure.
Down the stretch. And they'll also know what it looks like to score a couple of touchdowns. You got your first 2 career touchdowns the last 2 weeks. Congratulations for that. That first one, man. Just 2 weeks ago, the throw from Lamson on that. I mean, you made a great catch, but tell me about what you were seeing in that throw from Lamson. That was like 40 yards.
Yeah. So you, like, in practice, we haven't really thrown that route.
Okay.
So when I'm running it, like, I'm still going to try to run it full speed, but I'm really trying to take the corner and the safety away. So when I did that and I turned around and he threw the ball, I had to adjust quickly. Like, I couldn't just, like, freeze up or anything. So I tried my best to adjust, and it honestly was a perfectly placed ball, though. Like, only I could catch that. So when I adjusted and I caught it, it was
all of a sudden you turned. Did you realize you were in the end zone in that moment?
No, not in that moment. But so right when I caught it, I rolled on the floor. But when I looked down, I realized that I was past it. Like, I was already in there.
All of a sudden the grass was blue.
Yeah. So I was super shocked. It was honestly, it was unreal. Like, every time I think about it, it's just it's a crazy feeling. It's a crazy feeling.
Well, and I'm sure after that feeling, all you want to do is get that feeling back, which you did the following week. That one was a little bit different, though, at Northern Arizona. A lot of yak on that one, the catch and the run. That was another throw. I felt like that was another one of those throws from Lamson that was just on the money, kind of threw you open. And sometimes it feels like accuracy is getting the ball to you so you can run with it. What did you see in that and feel in that from Lamson?
Well, honestly, it really just felt like the ball was just floating to me. So when I caught it and I turned, I realized that there was nobody in front of me. So all I had to do was just run. I was literally telling myself, just run, run, run. So once I kind of got to like the 5, I realized he was kind of close to me, but, you know, I was already in the end zone. So, you know, I was just like, dang, another one. But, you know, you can't ever settle for, you know, just one touchdown. So, you know, want to stay hungry. I want to keep getting more, and just keep competing. So.
Yeah, it did seem like, though, after that second touchdown, the touchdown last week, maybe one of the biggest hits you took all year was from Taco Dowler in the end zone. Oh. I mean, he came up and he smoked you, dude. How hard did he hit you after that?
No, I had to readjust my helmet. My chin strap went down below, and, like, my whole helmet went down. But, nah, I mean, it's always fun having Taco there to, celebrate with you, so. I mean, it was okay. Adrenaline was there, too, so, I feel like that kind of helped, too. So.
Yeah, no doubt. The other thing that stood out on both of those catches to me was how focused you were on catching the football, right? Like, when you turn around, there's nobody around you. You can start looking ahead. Mm-hmm. Tell me about how important it is, especially for young receivers, to make sure you're catching the football in that moment and really focused on that part.
Oh, me and Dane Steele, we talk about this all the time before we go out to practice. It's like we can't drop the money. Like, to wide receivers, the ball is our money. Like, that's how we make our money. So, just securing the catch first is always going to be the most important thing. Like, I mean, you can't score a touchdown without the ball. You can't get a first down without the ball. Like, the ball is the most important thing. So, really just worrying about getting that secured before getting anything else secured is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Sounds like you and Dane Steele are pretty tight then?
Oh, for sure. That's my brother.
Yeah.
That's my brother.
What's made him so effective this year?
Honestly, just the way he attacks everything. Like, his work ethic, when he has to go make a block, it doesn't matter. He's a very selfless dude out there on the field. Like, he always helps me, but it's really just his work ethic. He's a really hard worker. He's the type of guy to really sacrifice his body. And, we have this saying called, sacrifice the body, glorify the soul, and Dane Steele is like the epitome of that.
Yeah, sacrifice the body, glorify the soul.
Yes, sir.
I like that. Where'd that come from?
Honestly, when I got here, the older guys were saying that, so we've always just been saying that. So, really just...
It's already here.
Yeah.
It's part of the Bobcat culture.
Yep.
It's exactly what we just talked about with Zack, just passing it down from year to year, from man to man, and from touchdown to touchdown.
Yep.
All right, give us something quick to look for here in this Idaho State game coming up. It's going to be a fun one. What do you guys have to do to be successful on Saturday?
Honestly, we just got to keep making plays. As long as the defense keeps doing their job, as always, we just got to answer. Offense has to, keep making explosive plays and stuff like that. Really, Justin meets with us every week, to, see. We get a chance to look in, like, from his point of view, really. So when we do practice breakdowns, he'll tell us what he sees, and then we just tell him what we see. And, we kind of just come together and get to, like, basically an agreed point on, what we need to do for, this certain play. So really just, getting all our plays down and worrying about, our job, everybody's 111th, we'll get it done.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing your job, man. It's been fun to watch, and can't wait to see you keep doing your job, which ends in the end zone. Jabez Woods, we're taking a break. When we come back, Head Coach Brent Vigen joins us. We're live from Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
Quitting smoking, vaping, or chew isn't easy because nicotine is extremely addictive. Plus, everyone's different. What worked for me may not work for you. That's where Quit Now Montana comes in. And it's free. You get a quit coach and a custom quit plan tailored to you, including free nicotine replacement therapy, patches, gum, or lozenges. Bottom line, Quit Now Montana works. Time to make it work for you. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or go to quitnowmontana.com to get started today. Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee-owned and serves southwest Montana with 9 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
The Bobcats are proud to present these preferred local partners as members of Bobcat Built, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems, Bryant, whatever it takes, Carrier Heating and Air Conditioning, Carrier, turn to the experts, Ace Roofing, building Montana strong, one roof at a time, Rivers Landscaping, crafting superior outdoor spaces, and NW Construction, proud to call Bozeman home. Montana State Athletics encourages our fans to choose these local businesses. They are proud local sponsors and demonstrate what it means to be a Bobcat. We are Bobcat Built.
Revelry is your neighborhood eatery, here to serve a wholesome and savory palate that celebrates Montana roots with fresh, locally sourced ingredients. We revel in a natural and energetic habitat that livens any day. We serve Bozeman's best pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and salads in a comfortable environment with 2 amazing patios. We love hosting Bobcats old and new. Check us out at 24 North Tracy or online at revelrymt.com. Go Cats, go!
For more than 25 years, Amy Sayer has provided the highest level of service in the real estate industry in the Gallatin Valley. In conjunction with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Montana Properties, Amy and her team are committed to providing the very best experience for their clients and customers through sound guidance and excellence in service. So if you're thinking of buying or selling or have questions about our current real estate market, call Amy Sayer or visit amysayer.com.
We are back live one final time at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. It's time now to take a look ahead to the next game presented by Vance Thompson Vision. This next game is a 1 p.m. kickoff. We'll be on the air at noon if you can't make it. And it's going to be a good one against the Idaho State Bengals. Bobcats opened the Big Sky season last year down there. And Coach, overall, this is a good team. Cody Hawkins has it moving in the right direction. And Jordan Cook at quarterback is a dynamic player.
Yeah, as far as 4 lost teams out there, they got to be one of the best. They competed really well last weekend, and I know earlier in the season, had New Mexico and UNLV both on the ropes. So they're very capable, and with the type of offense they play, it's quick strike, it's big play. He's got really good ability, Jordan Cook does, but then he's got guys to throw to. A couple tall targets, a couple quick targets, and then they can run it okay too. So. We're going to have to be, on our toes on defense for sure to try to limit him, slow him down. I know Zack said, just being able to affect him is what we need to do first and foremost.
Yeah, and it did look like last week on the defensive side for Idaho State, they did affect Montana in a good way, got a little bit of pressure, slowed Eli Gilman down at times. What are you seeing from this Idaho State defense?
Yeah, I think they just are getting better and better. They made a switch defensively at the end of last season. So completely different scheme than they were when we played them last year. So I'd imagine that's just taking a little bit of time, identifying their personnel, identifying what they do best. But yes, I thought Saturday night's the best they've played. It's the most disruptive they've certainly been. Challenge the run game, and we're gonna have to find ways to run it, and obviously find ways to pass it too. And those opportunities will be out there, but we got to go out and make those plays.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. And you got your rain jackets all picked out. You're good to go?
I'm all set, rain or shine.
All right, looking forward to it, and we'll be ready to go for this game coming up 1 o'clock on Saturday. All right, again, no show next week. We're back the following week and right back into the final stretch run of the season. Kelly Freeman's been our producer today. Thank you to Jabez Woods and Zack Black for joining the show. Thank you, Anthony, for handing everything out. For head coach Brent Vigen, this is Keaton Gillogly saying so long, and we'll talk again on Saturday. Until then, go Cats. We've been live from Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.